Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Phil Brilliant. It's Simply Brilliant. It's good to see you this morning. I can't see you, but hopefully you can see me. And hopefully I'm a little brighter. I got some expert advice from Sandra Levine and Lisa Mazuka. And they basically said, need more light in front of you and less light behind you. Well, there's more light in front of me. And if I turn the light off, let's see how that looks. I'm a little darker. Now I'm brighter. Look at that. It's a whole new me. And today is December 30th. We have one more day, well, including today, 2 days left of 2025. It's amazing. This year has flown by. And I know they say the older you get, the faster time goes. Holy crap, is that right? I feel like I was 25 yesterday and I'm not today. Big shout out to the woman who criticized this sweater at a recent Toms River Council meeting. I like this sweater. It keeps my neck warm. This is a winter white. I think we all should get this sweater. Debbie got it for me last year. I like it. We're going into New York today. We're going to see Hamilton. Looking forward to that. It is a Hanukkah Christmas gift for the family. Probably broke the bank. I'll have to work about 20 more days this year to make sure I pay for that. But looking forward to it. And day in New York, not a huge New York City fan, just not who I am. I'll go in, we'll go out and see a play, grab a meal, and that's it. Maybe we'll go see the tree. But New York City is just not the place it once was. It's dirty. It's chaos. And that is actually worse chaos than we have here in Toms River. This is one of my Hanukkah gifts from my daughter. If you can see, the Earth Institute, Columbia University. She is a grad student at Columbia. I'm very proud of her and thankful for that gift that she gave me. Let's jump in real quick. Last one of the year, so I'm going to kind of summarize some things and wish you all a very happy, healthy, prosperous, and safe new year. There is no Toms River Council meeting today at 4 o'clock. Scratch it off your calendar. Let's just say Mayor Daniel Rodrick came to his senses. The long and short of it is, if you looked at the public notice, Mayor Daniel Rodrick called the meeting for special consideration relative to insurance. A letter went out last week to all the council members that they were calling this meeting because their policy expires tomorrow at the end of the year. But it really has to do with the mayor wanting to change insurance so that he can pass it over to Fairview Insurance, that is his power broker. They're funding his campaigns. They fund his political action committee, his continuing action committee called Citizens for Good Government. They funded all of his elections in 2025. They have the health insurance, which he gave to them. So they're making out and he's making out. And just so happens they are in Essex County. They're a Democratic organization. This is not a shot at Democrats, but he now works in Irvington. They provide insurance to Irvington. Put two and two together, and you got Daniel Rodrick. And again, I say it once, I'll say it 100 times. Daniel Rodrick does not care about Toms River, does not care about doing the right thing. He cares about Daniel Rodrick, Daniel Rodrick, Daniel Rodrick. Learn it. More people are understanding that. We still do have the recall going. We have, I believe, 26 days left. I haven't looked at the calendar yet this morning. We get till January 25th. We're over 13,200 now. We need to get to 18,464. But keep in mind, Daniel Rodrick only got 13,800. I went back and looked votes when he became mayor. We're going to surpass that. We already surpassed the total number of votes in the primary in 2023 for all three candidates. This is a lot more than 13 people who aren't happy here in Toms River. This is a lot of unhappy people here in Toms River. Why? Because Toms River is not the place that we have raised our families. And it all points to one person. You can say what you want. You can say that the council has approved things. Those are the council puppets. Tomorrow, excuse me, January 1st, the puppets are now in the minority. The majority will be Councilman Tom Nivison, Councilman Robert Bianchini, Councilman Clinton Bradley, and Councilman David Sikosi. If they can work together, and I think they can, if they can stay aligned as a team, and I think they can. Why do I think they can? Because you got some military guys, you got some business owners, you got a guy who has his family dates back, I think, to the 1800s, if not farther, in Tom Nivison. And remember, Tom Nivison was elected standing next to Daniel Rodrick and quickly saw the difference between somebody who campaigns and somebody who can't govern. And I believe it was in February of 2024, he said, no more, no more. They need to work together to start bringing Tom's River back to the place it was before Daniel Rodrick's chaos came in and he started changing everything and taking control of this town for his own well-being. This needs to be for the well-being of the 100,000 people who live in Tom's River. Don't forget that. This is about elected officials serving the people who voted for them. I was out all weekend collecting signatures. The number of people who say to me, I voted for Daniel Rodrick, I regret it, is a little more than the number of people who said, I'm scared of Daniel Rodrick. My child has a job. My husband has a job. I can't sign because I don't want them to lose the job. And I always say, is that a place that you want to live? Is that the leadership that you really want here in Tom's River? I can't believe we live in a town that people are scared, not necessarily scared of the mayor, but scared of what he will do. Look at what he has done. Yesterday, there was another post about me with an individual who I won't name him, but he's the spokesperson for Daniel Rodrick. He's also the spokesperson for Jackson. Okay. He puts out these lies and inconsistent media documents, reports. He makes them up. I think Daniel Rodrick helps him a lot. And they put it out there. And with 100,000 followers on each of his pages, people believe what they read. And I will tell you, don't. Fact check every chance you get. ChatGPT, not always right, but the source, Google. Funny though, I will sidetrack real quick. Google, during the Giants game on Sunday, the Giants-Raiders game, had the Giants losing. I was wondering if Vegas was starting to bet, but it was pretty funny. They actually, if you Googled who was going to win the Giants game, it came up that the Raiders were going to win, even though the Raiders were down by like 10 points. It was interesting. Anyway, get back to it. Fact check, fact check, fact check. Know the facts about what's going on. And for me, I am coming to grips more and more that the attacks upon me are affecting people around me more and more. And that hurts me. But probably because I'm saying this, there's probably going to be more attacks now because that's what happens. But in 2026, I'm going to make a change and see if I can reduce that. But I will not stop fighting for Tom's River. I will not stop fighting against the chaos of Daniel Rodrick. Let's slow down for a second. One of the things that will happen on Thursday, I keep saying Wednesday, on Thursday, New Year's Day, when the new council gets sworn in, the former council members will depart. That includes current council president Justin Lamb. I don't think he'll be in attendance, but we have not always seen eye to eye. We have fought on many occasions, both in public and behind the scenes. But wish him well, wish him luck with his wife Ashley, and hopefully she'll keep fighting on the Board of Education for the students of Tom's River. Bill Byrne will step down, just like he was sworn in quietly. No idea who the man is. No idea We heard his first 17 words at the last council meeting. He's another one of Daniel Rodrick's puppets who were put up there. But we're also going to see Councilman Jim Quinlisk, who I've learned to say his name and I can spell it better, and has become a friend. He is a fighter for Toms River, whether as a fireman, whether as a business owner, or as a councilman for Ward 3. And he'll be stepping down because he didn't get the block vote in Ward 3. And the person who did is Rodrick's new puppet, Harry Aber. We know nothing about him. We've never seen him except for at one council meeting where he stood up. I believe it was July 28th or July 30th. Don't quote me on the date, but one where, and he said, "I'm very grateful to Daniel Rodrick and I'll vote and do what Daniel Rodrick wants me to do." That's not what we need on council, but that's what Ward 3 elected because they were told to elect him. That's a problem we're going to have to deal with in the future in Toms River. And it is a problem we as Toms River has to deal with because we don't want puppets on council. We want open-minded individuals who first and foremost, and I'm going to say this twice, will listen to the residents of Toms River. As an elected official, their number one obligation is to the residents of Toms River, not the mayor of Toms River. And that's where Harry Aber was wrong. That's where Bill Byrne was wrong. And that's where at times Council President Justin Lamb was wrong. This is Toms River. The residents come first, not the mayor. Councilman James Quinlisk, from day one, whether on the Mohill administration or under Dan Rodrick, he fought for the residents of Toms River. You remember him standing up and speaking as he was shut down by then Council President Craig Coleman, a Rodrick puppet, and Rodrick yelling at him as he fought for the Toms River Council not to vote on an ordinance to cut the police. But the police were cut. And we sit here today and still no new police officers. This new council has to deal with that. He fought hard to keep the animal shelter in Toms River's hand, not give it to the county. We lost that battle too because Dan Rodrick did an end around and I lost my court case. He opposed the elimination of the downtown redevelopment. And again, this is not about towers, as everybody wants to say. First of all, it was a 6-story building. It's not a tower. This is about redeveloping in downtown Toms River for the residents of Toms River and what can be in Toms River. I understand that people who live downtown would like to keep the downtown the way it is. I will tell you, for one, I'm not one of those people. Because I was in Metuchen the other day. I was in Woodbridge the other day. I was in Cherry Hill. I was in Riverton. These are areas that you don't need to overexplode redevelopment like people say Asbury and Red Bank have done. You gently put up structures that have mixed use, that bring people to your downtown area for your businesses and for your residents to go to, and you provide some residential housing for those people who want to live downtown. If I wanted to live downtown right now, there's no houses for me. I may have to buy one from an LLC. But if you have an apartment, a condo, something that will provide some housing, some mixed use, that is what was repealed. That was what James Quinlisk and others fought against. It had nothing to do with anything more than changing what's downtown into a community and not a water park that operates for 3 months a year or a boat launch that operates for 3 months a year. How much revenue does that bring downtown versus a Whole Foods versus, a store that has pottery, a glass blowing? Who knows what could have been there? Fought against that and lost that too. I can go through some of the other accomplishments, but the last thing I think that he fought for was he fought for the people of Ward 3, even though they didn't reelect him. And now under Hello. Lost my light because I'm banging on my desk here, so I got to stop banging. And now, under Daniel Rodrick's new affordable housing plan, you will have more apartments, not just affordable housing apartments. But if you're going to do 130 to 140 affordable housing, that equals about 800 new apartments by Lake Ridge. That's where it's proposed, with a little shopping center. The traffic on 70 now and the traffic on Massachusetts is already bad. We don't need more there, but that's what Daniel Rodrick said it's going to be. And James Quinlisk voted against that because he didn't want to see all those apartments and all those houses now in Ward 3. Best of luck to him and his family. I'm sure I will see him around town, and I'm sure we'll see him in Toms River's political front again in the future. Going to move on real quick and try to wrap this up. Let's just think about some of the controversies of Dan Rodrick in 2025, and then we're going to jump forward into what I think we need to do in 2026. So 2025, improper code enforcement. I've never seen, and I drive around this town now getting signatures from all across all 4 wards. The number of cars parked on front lawns, I'm blown away. I've never seen that. And they're not on like blocks and being worked on. That's people where they're parking. And the garbage, the debris. This town needs to be cleaned up. We need code enforcement. We need neighbors to complain and the town to respond. We need more police. Okay. We have seen more deaths on highways in Toms River, being 37, Hooper Avenue. I call that a highway, Fisher Boulevard, because those are county roads. Than I believe. I haven't looked at the numbers yet that I've seen in years. He tried to take Christ Episcopal Church from the Diocese of Trenton. He tried to take it so he could put a pickleball court over the remains of loved ones in Toms River. That's a sick puppy. Clifton Avenue Park, Cox Crow Horse Farm, Gutman property, Huppard property. These are all properties that he directed Public Works to tear down buildings that had asbestos, that had hazardous debris. More to follow on that in 2026. I guarantee that's not over yet. Disrespect to the residents of Toms River at every council meeting, and either disrespect from his mouth or from his back as he walked out the door on us. 12 meetings in 2025. 12. We were able to speak for 1 hour. That's 12 hours in my math. And if you think about that, he spends more time on the Garden State Parkway going back and forth to Irvington, New Jersey, than he did listening to the residents of Toms River. That's got to change. We have a recall going. It will continue to go until January 25th, 18,464 signatures. We need your signature if you haven't signed yet. Cancellations of meetings with no reasons given. Let's talk about what we think we want from this new council in 2026, and then I'll close. These are Phil Brilliant. I would like to see the animal shelter reopened with staff and volunteers because we want the animal shelter in Toms River, run by Toms River, and it can be done properly. Restore coverage and dispatch to Silverton EMS. There is no prosecutor's investigation. There is simply a lawsuit brought on by Daniel Rodrick against Kevin because Daniel Rodrick doesn't like Kevin. That's it. Okay? Our tax dollars paying attorneys because Dan Rodrick doesn't like somebody. Bring back Silverton EMS. We need that. Okay? Let's get compassion about the homeless people. Let's not give people citations because they're helping somebody who's homeless. That's what we're doing in Toms River now. That's what Daniel Rodrick said to do. That's what the council approved. We need to come up with an answer to help homeless people in Toms River and Ocean County. Work together, Toms River Council, Ocean County Commissioners. Work together. Keep Mayor Rodrick locked in his office. Overdevelopment with the affordable housing plan, it's going to happen. Nothing we can do about it now, but we should not approve any additional development until we really see where all of these new units are going to be. We need police officers. We need police officers. We need police officers. We need to build our force back. We need cops on the road every day in a schedule that works for the police department and the residents of Toms River, not a schedule that works for Daniel Rodrick's chaos. We need more transparency. We want accountability. Okay. I would love to hear once Daniel Rodrick say, I was responsible for something. Never says it, never takes responsibility. Good leaders take responsibility. Sometimes things go wrong, but you still take responsibility. You need to strengthen our rental and our property code enforcement. We need to expand our sidewalks, pedestrian safety, and infrastructure above and beyond what the county's doing on Old Freehold Road. We need to invest in our residents of Toms River, not with fireworks and concerts and music and movie in the parks, though those are nice. One, I'd like to know where that money is coming from. But with things that affect 100,000 residents, not 10,000. We need to start thinking about all the residents of Toms River. I hope for 2026, we all come together as a community. I hope the ugliness at council meetings is over. And I hope that Daniel Rodrick realizes when we finish the recall, whether we go to a special election to replace him or not, that people in Toms River are not happy with what he's doing, and he needs to start thinking about how he changes. Happy, healthy, safe New Year. I'm Phil Brilliant. This is Simply Brilliant. I will not see you Thursday morning on January 1st for New Year's, but I'll see you Friday morning, January 2nd, and we'll talk about what happened at the reorganization meeting, which is Thursday, January 1st, 12 p.m. Everybody's invited. Have a great day.